think I should try to explain to them about magic generally before we all dig into it together. I think if it's just me for that part, it might seem less overwhelming. Maybe. Or they might storm out and insist you do something magical to prove it. I don't really know. I know them, I know them very well, obviously, but I don't know how they're going to respond to something like this. There isn't exactly precedent for this kind of thing in our relationship. It's kind of uncharted waters here. Okay. I'll wait. And if they need proof, I get that. I don't mind showing it. Okay. However this goes, however they respond, we're gonna figure this out. Okay? I promise you that. Hell. Okay. Okay. Hey, baby. How do you know I like playing cards? Oh. I try to talk about the good things from growing up. Cards was always a good thing. That's thoughtful of you, but I don't think I don't think a game of cards is gonna help right now. Maybe can we talk for a bit in private? There's something we should talk about. Yeah. Come on. We'll be back in a bit. I'll take your time. Okay. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really thought about how I'm supposed to say this because I never thought I would be saying it. I never thought I'd really be able to because it's not exactly my secret to tell. It is a little bit, but mostly not. It's about Elliot, but it's also about more than Elliot. Okay, sorry. I'll try. I've always told you that Elliot's job is something that he can't talk about, that I can't really talk about either. All of that is true, but it's more complicated than it just being his career that we can't talk about. It's most of his life that we can't really talk about. The government that he answers to is really strict about maintaining a level of secrecy. What they call covert. And what? How? How do you know about? How do you know about that? You know about magic? How? Wasn't he your ex? He has magic? Really? How? Uh, oh, um, well, the this definitely wasn't how I expected this conversation to go. Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna say like, why didn't you tell me? I know exactly why. I mean, it's the same reason I didn't say anything. I, huh. Well, um, that that definitely answers some questions and raises others. Did you when I would talk about him about how he had to keep so much stuff secret? Did you think that might be what I meant? Hmm. It makes sense. Yeah. Huh. Um. Yeah. Yeah. Huh, we definitely do have a lot to talk about. Um. But unfortunately, that can't happen right this second. The reason why I told you about Elliot is because he's in trouble. A lot of it in ways that I only kind of understand. I, I've never seen him like this, and the stuff that he's saying, I believe him. I know he wouldn't lie about any of this, but it's insane. Even with what I do know of the magical world, I didn't know any of this stuff was possible. I don't know how to help him, but he's my brother. I'm not gonna let him face this alone. And I couldn't step into all of this without telling you about it. I couldn't leave you in the dark of something this big. That said, I'm also not gonna drag you into something if you don't want to be a part of it. I have to help him. I have to see this through, but I understand if you don't want to know, or if you don't want to get involved, because this is like kidnapping and conspiracy and a huge tragedy and an existential shit all at once. It really is insane. I don't know. You sure? Well, if at any point you change your mind, that is totally fine too, because it's a lot. It's about to be a lot. Okay. Let's do this. No, he's not. He's not just. I don't know exactly what he is. I don't know. He's kind of like a demon, but not. At least not just that. I mean, he can do things I've never heard of a demon doing. But all right. Hold on. Just hold on. I think we're losing track of the most pressing issue here. We could sit here spinning our wheels and trying to understand death and walkers and counterpoints and this fucking cult for the next week and still probably have barely scratched the surface. And we can talk about all that. We should talk about all of that. But right now, right this second, there is a life in danger. One that we all care about. We have to figure out what we're going to do to get them out of there. The department is in shambles trying to recover from the disaster. Is there any way we can talk to the human authorities? What if we go to the unempowered police? Can they help? I don't know how. They don't have powers. What can they do against close-knit? Maybe it would make the department get involved. They have a relationship with the unempowered law enforcement, right? They have to coordinate on some things. On a high level, yes, but a boots on the ground detective or whatever isn't going to know that magic exists. If you try to tell them that it does, you're going to end up with a psych eval, not a help. And even if they investigate it as an unempowered organization, they're not going to be able to do anything to close-knit. They could just use magic to keep them from even getting close to the building. The same way that there are spells in place that keep most unempowered people from getting close to any magical areas. Cops aren't immune to that. If anything, them poking around would just make close-knit even more paranoid. And who knows what they do then. Whatever happens has to be strong enough to force their way in and outgun close-knit, or be able to sneak in and get them out. No one unempowered is going to be able to do either of those things. So it either has to be the department or some kind of third party. I don't know what kind of third party that would be. Are there private investigators in your world? I'm sure there are, but that wouldn't be enough either. We don't need an investigator. We need like an extraction team. I don't know how you find that. And then it's got to be the department. We have to at least try to start there. But how can they go up against close-knit right now? How are they even going to believe any of this? Most of my people don't believe in Deathwalkers or any of this stuff. We don't make it about taking out all of close-knit. We're 3 people. We can't rally an army that your government doesn't even have. Just strip away everything else. Don't try to explain brachium to them. Don't try to prove a connection to the inversion that you can't prove yet. There will be a time for all of that. But you can't lose the trees for the forest. What matters right now, right this second, is your partner. Getting them out of there. Saving them and that demon close that has got locked up that helped you. That is what we focus on. The rest can come later. If we go to them with some sprawling theory about counterpoints and weavers and walkers and visions of death, they are going to laugh us out of the building. They're in the middle of disaster recovery. Their attention is getting ripped in a million different directions. It has to be. We can't leave any room for them to discredit what we're saying, or they're going to be able to ignore it and focus on the tangible shit that they're already drowning under. So, you focus the story. You went to the meeting. You got pulled into a back room. It went bad. They kidnapped your partner because they're unempowered and couldn't fight back, and they only let you out because they were going to wipe your memory, but the demon that they're keeping prisoner helped you get out. And once everyone is out safe, then we tell them about how big this actually is, once you've got your foot in the door. And then it's their responsibility to see it all the way through. You don't have to save the world, Elliot. No one can ask that of you. You are one person. It's okay to not be able to take out a nationwide organization on your own. You just have to save them. And we're gonna do that. I'm sure the department office is still just as much of a mess as it was a few hours ago. Was the one you went to a full station or just one of the satellite offices? Satellite office, I think, yeah, it must have been, it wasn't very big. I'm sorry, it's always kind of a blur. It's okay. We need to go to whatever is the big one around here that the most likely to have an investigator we can talk to. Can you figure out where that is? Yeah, I got that. Let me get my phone. Okay. We'll go get changed while you do that, and then we'll head out. How are you feeling? Where are you at with all of this? I know. I don't, I think this makes sense. The plan, not the everything else. Nothing else about this makes sense. Not really. I'm trying not to think about the everything else because trying to wrap my head around it damn near sent me into a spiral. And it's already doing that to Al. You can see it right there. I feel like the only way to make this make sense, or at least enough sense to get anything done, is what I said to him. Just focus on them, on getting them out, on getting them home. because everything else is so big that I wouldn't even know where to start. And we can't afford to waste time not knowing where to start. You're sure you're alright? It is a hell of a jump from having an ex that could use magic to being wrapped up in all this. Because right now I'm reeling from the jump too. I knew just enough about magic to piss me off, and now suddenly there's cults and death is a place, and there's shades, and all of Dahlia might have been wiped out, and we didn't even know it. We thought it was some convention center collapse. Yeah. No time to spiral. Okay. Okay. Are you officially informed, unempowered? Did you go through the classes and everything? Shit. We'll just say you are. I mean, they're in the middle of a crisis. They won't know any better. And if they do, it's a slap on the wrist anyway. Half the people out there don't bother with the paperwork. We should go. Are you ready? Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk later. Okay. Excuse me. I'm sorry, but is there any update on when we can see and investigate?
Sir, we're doing what we can. I already told you. You'll be seen when we have an opening. I understand your situation is urgent, and we're doing what we can. I'll call the office again and see if we can get you some kind of update.
Thank you. Anything. They're gonna try to get an update on when we can see someone. I have to step outside for a second. You okay? Yeah. No. I need some air. I just need a second. I can go with you. No, it's okay. I just need a minute. If it feels like it's coming on again, come tell us. Okay? I will. He's always struggled with anxiety. It got better when he got older. From what I saw, anyway. Maybe he just got better at hiding it. I never knew how to help when he was having an attack. I tried, but I felt like I always did something wrong. Or at least I didn't do enough. I don't know. I feel like I'm I'm not feeling enough. Maybe it all just hasn't caught up to me yet. Maybe when it does, it'll... I don't know. I don't know. I've never been through something like this. I don't know what it's supposed to look like or feel like. I don't know. But if feeling not enough yet helps, then I guess that's good. I guess I'll just try to harness that. Because he's feeling everything right now. And I feel like he's about to break again. And I don't blame him. But I don't know how to help. Other than to just make sure things get done. I just want to be doing something. I want to get up there and yell. And if I thought it would actually help at all, I would. I want to make them see us. There's a life at stake and they know that, but the entire room is full of people trying to get life or death answers, so... It's just so infuriating to have to wait. I heard the lady behind the counter talking before we got up to the window. Her nephew was at the games. He didn't make it. Better. I think. Did she say anything? No, she's still on the phone, I think. Oh, just hung up, actually.
Sir?
Me? Yes?
We've got someone who can see you now. Come up, please.
Oh my god, come on.
I understand your urgency.
Urgency? You say that like I'm annoyed. My Starbucks order is taking a while. This is my partner's life. We're talking about urgency. Doesn't begin to describe it.
I understand your urgency. I promise you, we are going to do everything we can to get them out safely. I'm asking you in turn to understand that we are stretched incredibly thin right now. And by your own admission, this has to be done right the first time, or it's not going to work. Close-knit is going to shelter even deeper if they suspect something. We've got one shot at it.
You talk about this cult like it's some enemy faction in a war. If your department can recognize that there's such a problem, how have you all not dealt with this yet?
We have been dealing with it in the ways that we can. Legislative action to limit their power, judicial cases brought against them where we can get the evidence. We can't stop them from spewing hateful rhetoric. Like it or not, they have a right to say those things. We can't just waltz in the door and tell these people they can't meet up. Believe me, I'd love to. I'd like to burn every one of their damn strip mall headquarters to the ground, but they have the same rights as all the rest of us. We're going to do everything in our power to get your loved one out of there. My associates are going to organize a team, but I need you to understand what an incredibly delicate situation this is.
I am aware of how delicate the situation is. I was the one trapped there with them. I know better than anyone. I need to go with you guys when you storm the place.
That's not going to be possible.
Why the hell not?
Because you are too emotionally compromised. You're too close to this situation. You're also completely untrained. You're a dream walker, a civilian one at that. This needs to be handled by a trained extraction team. I understand why you want to be a part of it. Of course you do. This is someone you love. But that person you love needs to be given the best chance possible of getting out of there safely. And that doesn't leave any room for mistakes.
So I'm supposed to just sit on my hands and wait?
Yes, and I know how frustrating that is. But the best thing you can do right now is to make sure your report of the situation and the layout of the building is as precise as you can make it. And then wait for us to get them out of there. We have the blueprints from when the building was built, but I imagine they've made some adjustments since then. Anything you remember could be of some help. Our team of stealths is going to need every advantage. Can you do that for us?
Yeah.
Good. I need to go get an update. Keep writing down anything you remember. I'll be back in a bit.
It's gonna be okay, Elle. Yeah. You gotta believe that. Otherwise, it's just torturing yourself. I can't lose them, Aaron. I can't. We shouldn't have ever gotten pulled into this. I shouldn't have ever told them about magic. Hey, knowing about magic isn't what drew them into this. Bragium was. And they met him before they ever met you. What's happening now is not your fault. And it's not their fault. It's close nets. They were so scared. In the dream, I tried to tell them what they had to do to fight it. I tried to help. But I couldn't do anything. I'm supposed to be able to protect them. Dreams are the one thing I'm good at. The one thing I know better than anything else. And I couldn't help them. Your powers were muted. There was nothing you could have done. All you could do was try to talk them through it, and you did. You did try. And so did they. Blake was just stronger. That investigator was right. You're not a trained combatant. Neither of you are. You're normal people. You can't be expected to fight with powers you didn't have access to. They can't be expected to be able to hold a mental defense in place while they're watching the person they love get tortured in front of them. It happened. You can't go back. So you do what you can do now. You write down everything you can remember, and you wait. just want them to be safe. I know. They will be. It's gonna be okay. I've got him settled in on the couch. I don't know that he's actually gonna get any sleep. He's got a death grip on his phone. Checked the volume 3 times just while I was getting him a blanket and a pillow. I don't know that I'm gonna get any sleep either. They wouldn't say when exactly they're gonna run the mission to get them out. I'm telling myself it'll be tonight. I believe that they understood the urgency of this. I don't know. I don't know how any of this is supposed to work. The only frame of reference I've got are fucking TV shows and movies and shit. And none of those were about a magical cult and the questionable government trying to take them down. Not that they're even trying to take them down yet. I don't know. I feel like my fucking brain is on fire. And every time I look at Elliot and he seems like he's on the brink, I don't know. Yeah. I only met them a handful of times. They're sweet. They laugh a lot. They spend most of the time giving Elliot shit. It was funny. Not in like a mean way, like the way you do when you love somebody that much. They were a good balance for one another. I keep telling him it's gonna be okay. That he has to believe that it's gonna be okay. But I don't know that I believe it when I say it. I'll never tell him that. He needs somebody that can be strong for him. He needs to believe that somebody else has that unshakable trust that it's gonna be okay. But I don't know that it is. And I don't know what's gonna happen to him if it's not. I really don't.